Hey guys, I thought I would come on and touch base. Last night was the fourth night of homelessness. Anyway, at least for my ex, I have done this traveling, camping, sleeping in my car when I camp, or if I don't want to go to a motel for a while. So I'm pretty well, I'm used to it. Whatever, because I just don't like motels and whatever. But basically, fourth night of homelessness. And I really thought, for my ex, I really thought that it would be very difficult for him. I thought that he wouldn't sleep a wink. It would be just really, really hard. He said that it really wasn't as bad as he thought it would be. Anyway, it wasn't as bad as I guess he didn't really think about it. I don't think I was worried that he wouldn't be able to sleep at all and it would be really bad, but he said that it wasn't too bad. It wasn't that bad. And for him, it's not so bad because it's not as bad for him. Yeah, his car is actually a little bit bigger than my car, so I think that's probably helpful. However, I like my car better, even though mine's smaller. His seat reclines all the way back, all the way flat, whereas mine doesn't. Mine only reclines 3/4, but I'm okay with that. I'm used to it. His car, like I said, it's also bigger, so it holds a little more in the back seat. But the one thing I don't like is, even though it's got new struts, new shocks, whatever, it tends to sag a little bit. I don't know what that's about. It's just a thing with certain makes of car and whatever. They tend to. It's got a bigger trunk in it, so, and he did put a cooler back there. Anyway, so his time, and I told him, not to pack it too much in the back, or in the back seat, or in the trunk, because it will tend to slouch a little bit, sag a little bit, even with brand new struts. It tends to do that. Um, Luckily for me, I don't probably have maybe as much in mine, although I do have a good bit of weight in mine. Uh, just a forethought. Chevy Impalas are, and I don't have a Chevy Impala, but I used to, and they do fantastic. You could put a freight train in the trunk. Anyway, just to touch base on the last video. Like I said, this is basically the fourth night of homelessness. For him, I have been homeless before, but and of course, I don't know if you'd call it homelessness, because had or have had a place to go back to. Um, my situation's a little bit different. His is completely, he has no place, no house, no place to go back to. In my case, I did do rent out on the Outer Banks of North Carolina, but I can't go back there right now because I'm behind on rent. I've been in litigation for a while, and that has sucked up most of my extra money. My credit cards are maxed, so I can't, I don't have the money to pay my rent right now. When I get caught up, I can go back, but right now I can't. Anyway, also, I know in one of my videos, that I posted. Anyway, got a lot of comments on Instagram and some other places where I posted, and my blog as well. But anyway, just to touch base, right now there is no availability at any shelters. There is no availability, and there's only there's a limit. You can only stay for 6 months. That's it, which it should be time enough to get back on your feet. But all the job, I work and he works too. We both work, and my job is better paying than his, but not enough to afford rent. Anyway, rent is high. Rent is expensive. The average rent price around here, and that's the cheapest you can get, and that's lowball, or low estimate, is around $1,500 a month. Most places are even higher than that. It's a very touristy area, so I don't know if that makes a difference, but rent's expensive. Rent's expensive everywhere. And of course they don't go up on the price, on how, work wise, wages. They don't increase wages. It's pretty much just, and I don't work for minimum wage. His job is, he has a lot of health issues, so, and with disability, he is restricted on how many hours a week he can work. Anyway, and Anyway, so enough said on that. We both work. We still can't afford rent. And as far as us living together, I've talked about this in the past. There's a lot. We don't do well living in a house together. And anyway, right now I'm also taking care of my aunt, having to go back to West Virginia. Of course, I'm not living in a car when I go back to West Virginia. I am staying with my aunt in her home to take care of her. Right now, I'm not going to be doing that. That will come back. That'll come later. We're trying to get her moved to Oklahoma. Anyway, just to touch base, one other thing. The reason we're in the situation we're in, and I did not want really to talk about it because we are still in litigation. We are still fighting it in court. Our house was stolen from us. It's that simple. It was a case of deed fraud. And we've done everything we can. We've filed police reports. We've went to court. Even the judge basically said, in no uncertain terms, that the person, even though it's fraud, and they basically said, even though it's fraud, the person that got the property is still an innocent purchaser for value, even though it's fraud. And we do believe that this person is the person who was involved in the fraud, but we can't prove he's involved in the fraud. So, and anyway. So that's where we're at. Our house was stolen from us, so that's why we're in our cars. Anyway, just want to touch base, come back, touch base. I thought that it would be worse on him, but he is sleeping, and that's good. He's got a lot of health issues. Hopefully, maybe soon he can get back and go to the doctor. As he needs to go back to the doctor. And I'll touch base on that later. Anyway, I had a dental appointment. I'm having to push that off. Got a lot going on with work. Just so busy. Anyway, thought I'd touch base. Fourth night of homelessness. It's not, right now, it's not that cold, so it's not too bad. But it's in January. It's going to drop down in the teens. That's going to be bad. So anyway, it is what it is. I just thought I'd come in here and touch base, and I didn't want it to be this long. So I hope everyone has a good week. God bless. Peace.